the ship. The remaining 900 sailors went into the water. They faced exposure, dehydration, salt water poisoning, and sharks while floating in the ocean for 5 days. No food, no fresh water. Their mission had been so secret that no distress call had been sent out. Miraculously, they were noticed 5 days later by a U.S. reconnaissance plane on a routine flight. Of nearly 900 sailors who went into the water, only 317 survived. The sinking of the USS Indianapolis is the greatest single loss of life at sea in the history of the U.S. Navy. In August 2017, the USS Indianapolis was located on the floor of the North Pacific Ocean. She will forever remain there as a monument to the brave soldiers who served and died. Our guest today was just 18 years old when he was aboard the USS Indianapolis that night in 1945. Today he is among just 18 fellow survivors that get together each July in Indianapolis, Indiana to remember their shipmates. Please welcome a survivor of the USS Indianapolis from Lansing, Michigan, Seaman Second Class, Dick Faber. At this time, we would like to invite all the mothers and sisters of the Kalamazoo College and Alma College basketball players to the court for a special moment. Today, we invite these women to join together as a sign of support for the survivors of the recent events within the Michigan State University Athletics and the USA Gymnastic programs. While the events at MSU have brought the issue of sexual abuse to the forefront, we join together with these women to show our support for the survivors of sexual abuse crimes that have taken place on college campuses across the nation, and for those victims who are both named and unnamed. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nikita Kismiller to sing our national anthem.
afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Alma College Sports Basketball here on almascots.com through YouTube, of course. Alma and Kalamazoo as these teams start their second run through the MIAA schedule, a rematch of a game played down at Kalamazoo back in early January. 78-43, Alma winners of that one. Since that time, Kalamazoo only one win in conference play, but it was a thrilling buzzer beater against Calvin. Alma comes in 3-4 in the league, 5th place overall, but only a game out of 4th, where Hope College currently holds that last spot to get into the MIAA tournament. Kalamazoo wins the opening tap. We'll tell you about the starters here as things get underway. Kalamazoo a little bit short-handed, down 3 players from when these teams matched up on the first try. This is one of the new faces in Jack Smith, driving in, coming up short on a layup, and then a whistle blows. So it will be Tanner Bliley, the sophomore guard, out of Three Rivers after the Scots take over. Roger Hood, Ben Ryder, Jack Smith, and then Jimmy Paparaki down low, the 6'9 giant that Alma will have to try to match up against and do so without Doug Bradfield or Kevin Gamble today. A smaller Scots lineup due to injury. Bradfield still dealing with a nagging ankle injury, and Gamble a concussion suffered in overtime in the Scots' 3-point heartbreaking loss to Trine on Wednesday night. Both those players will be out today. The Scots hope to have them back in the future, potentially as soon as next Wednesday. This is Rob Holmes coming off a career-high 26, new career highs in 3 of his last 4 games, and he is fouled on a pass into the corner. It would be a non-shooting situation. Ryan Stevens, who just went over 200 career assists, had a great backdoor feed to Holmes, but he couldn't do anything with it. Then a foul as Harvey ends up on the deck. Stephen Harvey had a terrific game with 14 points on Wednesday to go with 4 of 6 3-pointers. Stevens now will inbound along the baseline. 19:12 to go in the first half. No score here so far. Saturday afternoon basketball between Alma and Kalamazoo at the Art Smith Arena. 3-point try from the corner, and there's Harvey. He's found that range, second in the league in 3-point percentage. And the Scots draw first blood. They held Kalamazoo to just 19 points in the first half in the first matchup between these teams. Kalamazoo is a much improved defensive team this year, but still have struggled in the scoring department from time to time. Here's Paparaki underneath, partially blocked and knocked away out of bounds. Bliley will inbound it with 10 on the shot clock. Smith 3-point try is no good, and Holmes gets the rebound. Holmes and Scheibert have really shouldered a great deal of the scoring load for Alma in the recent games. Holmes, if you were not tuned in on Wednesday night, in overtime, hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer, but it was ruled after the light came on, after the final whistle, and waved off. Would have sent the game to a second overtime, but he picks up right where he left off with the baby hook, and it's a 5-0 Alma lead. Kalamazoo has been plagued by slow starts this year. 16 in the first half against Adrian on Wednesday. Had a game where they were 14 points down, 4 points in, so they need to stem the tide here. And there's Paparaki, who will do it with an offensive rebound and a putback. And that makes it 5-2. Stevens off to Scheibert, now into the corner, Lamoureux. Underneath, Holmes double teamed. Can he get it over the top? He does, but the shot long. And rebounded underneath by Ryder, the sophomore out of Rochester. Chemistry major is Ryder. There are 9 business majors on this Kalamazoo team. Baseline drive and a foul on the Scots. Nice take by Roger Hood. Still a non-shooting foul. Neither of these teams to the foul line yet. Call goes against Holmes. We'll see how deep Alma wants to go on its bench today, with Kalamazoo a bit shallow, having lost those 3 players 5 games ago at the end of the first semester. Inside, a kick out now. Harvey wants another 3, short off the front of the rim. And back comes Bliley with it. Ball tipped into the corner, rescued. Little lob down underneath and out of bounds. Foot on the back line is the call there against Smith. .49 to play, in the first half, 5-2 Alma, not in the game. It'd be rather low scoring if it was in the game. Stevens walks it up for the Scots. Harvey, who hit the opening triple, tries for another, no good, and a foul underneath. And Jack Smith can't believe it, but this is going to stay at the Alma end on a push. Stevens goes with a deep lob. Tangled up is Holmes, but Alma will come out of there with it. Lamoureux tries to get a cut, and Scheibert gets held by Ryder. Great job by Scheibert to just burst to the basket. Lamoureux recognized that Kevin had position, and the only thing that Ben Ryder could do is grab an arm. Stevens has it taken away. Ryder will try to go the other direction. Great hands by Lamoureux. Knocks that loose, and the Scots want to run the other direction. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Lamoureux takes it in against Paparaki, and he's got a bucket. Luke Lamoureux gives up a foot in that matchup and got it around big Jimmy Paparaki and makes it 7-2 Scots. Hood inside to Ryder for the Hornets. Now to Smith in the left corner. A little back pass. Finds Paparaki, and he's got all four for Kalamazoo. He's one of two Hornets in double digits on the season. Ryder is the other. And now a whistle down underneath. And this will be Bliley called for his first. First substitution of the game is Scott Mackey checking in for Alma. Mackey got into the action down at Trine, has a career high of 13 as Alma goes with this smaller lineup, and now Lamoureux again makes it 9-4 Alma. Little inside-out action from Paparaki out to Bliley, blocked by Scheibert and an outlet to Lamoureux. Scots want to run again. Oh, Lamoureux almost double dribbled with that. Does well to keep it alive. Can Mackey connect from three? No. Ryder rebounds. Back come the Hornets. Little backdoor cut and a great basket there by Hood. First two of the game for the senior. Mackey over to Scheibert. And now Lamoureux. Kalamazoo coach Jay Smith, of course, a familiar face in Michigan basketball, former Central Michigan head coach back in the Chris Kaman era, took the Chippewas to the NCAA tournament in his second season in Kalamazoo. Added 4 wins to their total last year, 7-17 after a 3-win season the year before he got there. This is his first year with his own recruits, and 6-12 so far. Had a stretch where they won 5 of 7 in the non-conference season, but 1-6 in MIAA play. Stevens for Alma, who leads 9-6 with 14:22 left in the first half. Over to Holmes, 3-point try. He made 5 of them on Wednesday. There's his first this afternoon. Rob Holmes with 5. It's a 12-6 Alma lead. Ryder underneath Scheibert. Oh my! The wistful look of someone who had a clean block with one hand and just a little bit of a hip with the other. That will get Ben Ryder to the line after the Scheibert whistle. Kalamazoo shooting only 63% as a team. Ryder about 67%. Averages 10 a game, second leading scorer on the squad. Second try coming up. And that is good. Arthel Rosquist and Ben Felicek into the game for Alma during that whistle. 12-8 after the Ryder free throws. Felicek along the baseline and a pass rifled out of bounds. No pressure from Alma. Andrew Shekel into the game, another freshman. It's an 11-player recruiting class for Kalamazoo. A lot of these players will rotate in. They've got a lot of guys averaging in the 2- and 3-point range as they get some increased minutes. Shekel gets called for the bump as Stevens tries to bring it up the floor. 12-8 Alma with 13:36 to play in the first half. Alma dominated the earlier season matchup down at the Anderson Athletic Center between these two, 78-43 in that, one of 3 times that Kalamazoo has been held to 50 or less this year. Their defense, as I said, has much improved this season, but still trying to get a little more consistent on the offensive end. And there's an Alma turnover. There's the ball just out of the reach of Holmes. Turnovers even at 4 apiece in the early going. That's something that Kalamazoo will want to look at. They have been turnover prone this season, and coughing up a number of possessions a game in the relative basis to their opponents. Shekel inside, back out to Bliley. Great fake. And now an extra pass across from Bushka. And a foul on a clear out on the Hood 3-point try. Brennan Bushka, another new face in there. Freshman out of Grosse Pointe South, 700-point scorer throughout high school, 700 points, 500 rebounds. But this will be Hood, the senior, going to the line. Hood averaging just under 7 a game. And he's got the first. 3 points for him so far, 12-9. Alma's lead is 3. Hood's high on the season, 16 against the University of Chicago, had 14 against Calvin. Actually was in double figures in 5 of the first 7 Kalamazoo games of the year. Misses on the second free throw. This is a 3-foul shot attempt because of the foul on the 3-point try. Felicek and Holmes take a seat. Amari Hudson in for his first action of the game, and Scheibert returns for Alma. Third try coming up as Kalamazoo will look to whittle this down to 2, and they do. Hood and Paparaki share the scoring lead for the Hornets. Mackey rifles a pass down underneath, and Shekel, a great block from behind on Hudson. Drew Shekel saves the day on that one. Oh, Rosquist thought he had a steal and a fast break, and instead it turns into an open jumper for Bliley. His first points of the afternoon. Bliley hit a buzzer beater 3 last season to defeat Lawrence Tech. Maybe the most dramatic basket of his career so far, but coming into a much larger role after leading the team in steals last season. Baseline drive for Rosquist at the Alma end. Layup no good. Foul on the rebound. And that's going to go against Kalamazoo, as Mackey was in there scrambling for it. Shekel with the call. 12-17 to play in the first half. Shekel with his second. And 7 Kalamazoo team fouls means Scott Mackey will head to the line for 1 and 1. Mackey came off the bench for a couple points in the first matchup between these two squads. First sub in today. And cannot connect on the front end. Rebound for Merritt Heyman. Another freshman on this Kalamazoo squad out of Montague. 4-year varsity player for the Montague Wildcats. Approaching the 12-minute mark in the first half. Tied up at 12. Kalamazoo has clawed its way back into this one after trailing 12-5. Inside, and a 3-second call against Heyman. Claims he was out of there, but overstayed his welcome. It'll be Hudson, Jason Marley, Stephen Harvey, who hit the opening 3, Scheibert, and Rosquist. The 5 for Alma. Bushka, Ryder, Hood, Bliley, and Heyman for Jay Smith and the Kalamazoo Hornets. All tied up at 12 in a back and forth game so far. Scheibert thinking about a deep three. Nobody closes out. Heyman says, I'll give it to you. And Scheibert says, I'll take the 3 points. Thank you. Tough shot there, but Kevin Scheibert, who's averaging 18 a game over his last 4, has his first basket today. Bliley looks for the answer at the Kalamazoo end, and he's got that one. A pair of triples for Tanner Bliley. And we're right back squared up at 15. This time Scheibert wants to take it in. A lot of contact. Is that going to be an offensive foul? No. A block. Bliley thought he sold it, but not in a square defensive position. You see the explanation from the official that there was a late slide over from Bliley. That's why it was a block. Scheibert will shoot a pair. His free throw shooting has greatly improved in the last couple of weeks. 15 of his last 16, and now make it 16 of 17 in his last 5 games, lifting the season average up over 70%. One of only 2 Scots over that 70% mark. The other is Lamoureux, who just has cleared the 80% barrier. Other than that, it's been a little bit of a struggle for Sam Hargrave's crew at the foul line. Scheibert calmly makes them both. And he also has 5. Alma retakes the lead. Kalamazoo has not led, but they have been tied at both 12 and 15. They trail by 2 at the moment. And now Stevens almost knocked the ball free to himself. Smith to Ryder for a triple. Back of the rim, long rebound. Snared by Stevens, who's a tremendous rebounder as a guard. Now Harvey uses the little head fake to drive to the baseline. To Holmes. He'll find his way through and then dish it to Stevens, the reverse of how the assists normally work. And Stevens cannot get the roll. Chattering with himself as he comes back down the floor. Can't believe that didn't go through. Alma by 2. And a bit of a tango underneath. And is this going to be Harvey or is it going to be Holmes? If it's Holmes, it's his second, but it is Harvey. So his first. Midway point coming up momentarily in this first half, 17-15. Alma with the 2-point advantage. Deep inbounds pass barely handled by Bliley under Rosquist's pressure. We're on to the near side to Jordan Curry, who's in for his first action. Now Bliley drives past Harvey and uses the window nicely. Tanner Bliley leads everybody with 8 points at the moment. 3-point try. Holmes connects 2 today. That makes 7 for the week. Alma to 4 for 8 from 3-point range. Kalamazoo second in the league in field goal defense. Opponent shooting only about 41% against them. Holmes for a replay. That one well long. And ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Bliley in the scrum with Harvey. Holmes went for the daily double there. It did not get quite the same result. But boy, has he been terrific over the last couple of weeks. If you're new to Scots basketball, Holmes missed last season with an injury. One of 3 Scots back this year, although 2 of those 3 are out today with less serious injuries. Doug Bradfield, a bum ankle. Kevin Gamble, a concussion. Both expected back in the relatively near future. Scheibert into the lane for Alma. Misses with 6 on the shot clock. Back comes Kalamazoo, still down by 3. 20-17, 9:15 to play in the first half. Bliley turnaround high, arcer over the top of Scheibert, and then Harvey, who has his arm literally wrapped around Paparaki, leads to an Alma whistle. And one can understand why Stephen Harvey needs a little bit of help trying to rebound against the 6'9 senior from Bishop Foley, econ major. MIAA academic honor roller is Jimmy Paparaki, as is Charlie Carson. 5 honor roll players last season for Kalamazoo. Of course, a lot of smart kids involved in Kalamazoo athletics. Part of the K plan, lots of international travel through Kalamazoo. Little one dribble and pop and hit from Bliley, and he's into double figures with 10. Kalamazoo within one again at 20-19. Stevens sizes up where he wants to go. Will send the ball over to the right side. Scheibert underneath Holmes. And Rob doesn't find much there, but the Scots go outside and right back in again to Hudson, and he's got the finish and a trip to the line. Shot attempts right now are 19-15 in favor of Alma. That's another stat that we're going to want to look at. On average for the season, Kalamazoo's been outshot by its opponents by a little over 3 shots per game. But there have been a number of games, especially recently, where that margin has been double digits and just difficult to compete when your opponents are getting that many more tries. Hudson converts the 3-point play. Now 23-19, Alma back to a 4-point edge. Another new face is Carson, the other academic honor roller. He's at the top of the key, goes inside to Ryder and now to Hood. He'll use the window. Banks are open for Kalamazoo today, and a beautiful move from Roger Hood. Hudson, who just had the 3-point play. Couple dribble drive steps, doesn't find much. Now he'll get it back on the perimeter. One step inside the line, fires, got it. Got decked afterwards, but well after the shot. And back to a 4-point edge. Lead has seesawed between about 4 and 0. Kalamazoo has come back and tied, but has never taken the lead in this first half. Hood for a triple and a rebound to Stevens. Stevens on the move, just passing people left and right, then a no-look feed to Lamoureux for a bomb. And Luke Lamoureux, 7 in the first half. And now, offensive foul down underneath, away from the ball on Kalamazoo. Looks like, or actually no, not an offensive foul, pardon me, a timeout called from the bench. It was a point to the bench, not a point for a change of possession. That makes more sense. I was trying to figure out why everyone was huddling and there was no foul number presented, but it was a timeout from Kalamazoo as Alma has stretched things back out to a 7-point advantage with 7:25 to go here in the first half. 28-21 is Alma's edge. Rob Holmes leads the way for the Scots with 8. Luke Lamoureux right behind with 7. 5 each for Scheibert and Hudson. Over on the Kalamazoo side, it is Bliley with 9. I gave him credit for 1 too many there somewhere along the way, but 9 for him, 6 for Hood, 4 for Paparocki, and 2 for Ryder to account for the 21 points for the Hornets. Rebounds are 11-10 in favor of Alma at the moment. And other stats up and down the way, fairly even. 6 Kalamazoo turnovers to 4 for the Scots. As we mentioned, that's a stat that Kalamazoo wants to keep an eye on. They're turning it over 19.5 times per game compared to a little under 15 for Alma. And we'll certainly want to keep that close. Alma forced 23 turnovers the first time these teams met, 17 of those on steals. 7:25 to play as Kalamazoo comes out of the timeout. Ryder wants a 3, a little deep on that one. Paparocki now finds a cutter right down the lane. And that try no good from Carson. Rebound loose. And onto the baseline over to the Scots. It's a nice feed from Paparocki to find Carson on that cut. Lamoureux stumbles and has it stolen away. 2-on-3. Scots do a good job to get back defensively, and there's a mob waiting. Scheibert took that one right in the face, though. It might have been a poke in the eye. It'll be a trip to the foul line for Ryder. Alma had 3 bodies back to surround him and make sure that he was going to have to earn these at the stripe. Ryder's best game this season was by far the conference win against Calvin. Buzzer beater victory in that one, but Ryder was the key with 28 points, including at one point 15 straight for Kalamazoo in the second half. Paprocki was the one who got the winner at the end on a tip-in of a Bliley miss. But were it not for the work that Ryder did along the way, that opportunity wouldn't even have been there. 28-23 as he makes both. Under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Stevens for Alma, over to Rosquist. He's going to work off the dribble, realizing he's got a favorable matchup to try to take Paprocki, but cannot get past the big man. Instead, he'll try Holmes for a three, and you might as well go for the guy who's practically automatic. 11 for Rob Holmes, who is quickly emerging as one of the Scots' top scoring threats. Ryder left wide open. In and out, cannot get that one to go. Hudson fronting Paprocki, boxes him out and gets the board. Loose ball stolen away. Back comes Jack Smith in transition. Over to Ryder. Contact with Stevens. No call. They'll play on. I think that's a good call. And Lamoureux wants the home run. Rosquist, what a catch and a layup! What a job by Rosquist and Lamoureux to execute that pass. And Rosquist to come back to the inside as he cut it and then give himself a clear path to an uncontested basket. 33-23, just like that. Alma explodes to a 10-point edge with 5:42 to play, and that'll be foul number 2 on Holmes on a reach. And that puts Sam Hargraves into a little bit of a decision. Holmes playing so well offensively, it's difficult to send him to the bench. At least for now, he will stay in. Marley comes in for Stevens. Paprocki at the line, had 8 when these teams met earlier this month. 12 on Wednesday in the loss to Adrian. Only shooting 53% from the line this year. That's probably the one area that he could improve, is he's shooting 63% from the floor. Just doing tremendous work down under the basket. Zach Sinke comes in for Alma. Sinke, of course, had that incredible varsity debut last year, where in his first action scored 19 points. And Paprocki hits both. And the lead for Alma is 8. Holmes does go out with Sinke coming in, so he'll get a little protection from Coach Sam Hargraves with the 2 fouls. And a travel on Rosquist. Mentioned earlier, Coach Jay Smith there in front of the Kalamazoo bench speaking with the officials at the moment. Smith still the leading all-time scorer in Michigan high school basketball history. Played his college ball at Saginaw Valley. But 2,800 high school points. Pretty fair. Lamoureux with the steal, no help, so he'll wait. Goes cross court to Hudson. Through the lane now to Rosquist in, and the elevation on that shot, and then the gentle roll around. Rosquist with another. Alma back to a 10-point edge. Hood runs out of room. And gets it back onto the perimeter. Shekel against Sinke with 15 on the shot clock. And now Shekel will try a 3, comes up way short on that. And he's going to hear about that one from the Alma student section. Hudson off the dribble, and all Smith can do is reach over his shoulder and give the foul. The quickness of Amari Hudson on that one. Hudson with an excellent first half, 5 so far, chance for a couple more. Did not get into the action at Trine on Wednesday, but right back in there today. Season high is 10 against Albion. Alma starting to stretch out a big edge in the shooting numbers. 13 of 24 from the floor, 54%, compared to only 8 of 22 for Kalamazoo. That one is good, so a split on the pair for the freshman from Highland Park. Jumper good from Bliley. He has been great. 12 now for Tanner Bliley, the sophomore. Sinky, 360-degree spin as he decided he didn't want that three-point try. Alma by 8, 36-28, 4:13 left in the first half. Hudson, a little crossover dribble, feed into the corner. Marley will dribble it out, go back to Hudson. And Hudson short, and then a foul on the rebound. Or no, ball just on the baseline. No foul, but Alma ball, rebound just on the maroon there. And Alma will get a fresh 30 to try again. Sinky, there's the deep three that he loves, and it's good. Sinky out of Grand Haven. Shot that one from almost Grand Haven. And he's got his first three in Alma, its biggest lead at 11. Underneath, Paprocki fouled. Back to the line. This will be Stevens with his first. Kalamazoo already in the double bonus. That's foul number 8 for Alma. Still 3:38 to play in the first half. First foul shot cuts the lead to 10. Ryder back in there with 4. Bliley leads the way for Kalamazoo. Paprocki has 7, Hood 6. Holmes on top of the score sheet for Alma and waved that one off on a lane violation called against Dan Black. Black, yet another member of this 11-deep recruiting class. He's an Ann Arbor product. A couple of them on this Kalamazoo squad. Sinky scoops to Stevens. 3:24 to play till halftime. Alma with a 9-point advantage, looking to level their MIAA record at 4-4. Kalamazoo 1-6, but has that very nice buzzer beater win against Calvin. Hudson from the top of the key with 2 on the shot clock. And Amari Hudson within 1 of his career high, and it's still the first half. Wiley against Marley. Marley will rotate now. Scott's in their traditional 2-3 zone, and a foul underneath called against Sinky. You see Sam Hargraves quickly out of his seat with a little instruction there. Sinky's first. It's a 1-1 for Paprocki. This will be the last 1-1 of the half for either team, as they'll be into the double bonus both ways. (42-29), Alma with a 13-point edge. Now in the final 3 minutes of the first half. The quick burst from Lamoureux, and then he stumbled. Could not get anything on that as he went to the left hand for the scoop. Hood to Black. Now inside Ryder underneath Paprocki. Way too strong on that, but he had a hand right in the middle of his back, so he'll shoot a pair. That was Hudson that time, and probably a foul well given by Amari Hudson. Hudson at 6'2", it's a big ask to take Paprocki one-on-one. Make the big man who shoots 63% from the floor earn this. Then with 8, he matches his total from the first matchup between these two teams already. Kalamazoo, certainly a better first half offensively with 30 points. They only had 19 in the first matchup between these squads. And the second one gets the gentle roll. Make it 42-31. Alma looking to keep the big offensive numbers up. They scored 51 in the first half against Trine Wednesday. Ended up on 97 in that one, but Trine had 100 by the time overtime was done. Sinky, can he get the instant replay? Not this time. Carson, bring it up. This one is a foul away from the ball. And that should be shots. Yep, Paprocki will head to the line. Sinky called for his second. And a 2-shot foul. So Alma won't like that, allowing Kalamazoo a chance to get right back into this with the clock stopped late in this first half. And now 2 players already into double figures for the Hornets. Wiley with 12 and Paprocki with 10. Holmes, the only double figure scorer for Alma so far with 11, sits on the bench with a couple of fouls. Paprocki good. He is 7 of 8 from the line. So all we had to do is mention the 53% performance on the year, and he's been phenomenal. Scots go down to the baseline. What a scoop, and then what a block by Hood. Anything you can do, I can show you up. Roger Hood blocks the Rosquist try after what looked like a surefire assist. And Kalamazoo gets points out of it at the other end. Here comes Stevens inside. This time the feed to Hudson gets the job done. And Amari Hudson's got a career high with 11. Kalamazoo feeds it around into the corner. Dan Black will kick it back out, or so he'll try. It's stolen instead by Lamoureux, and that's a layup for Alma. 46-35, Scots with 1:10 to play in the half. Student section feeling it after that Lamoureux steal, and Rosquist now off to the races. Can he scoop this up? Whoa, boy, a collision and a fumble recovery now, and finally the whistle will blow for shared possession. Arrow's going to go to Kalamazoo. Or is it? The arrow in one spot points towards Kalamazoo. The arrow on the scoreboard points towards Alma. And we're going to go for the mops instead. It's going to be Alma basketball. Battle of which possession arrow to believe. And apparently it will be the one on the scoreboard. And that makes sense as I dial through the memory bank. Kalamazoo won the opening tip, and we have not had a jump ball since then. Rosquist for Alma, and call a foul before the shot on Roger Hood. And that'll be 2 at the line with 50 seconds left in the half for Rosquist. 4 points on 2 of 4 shooting and an assist so far. Of course, had the beautiful fast break layup on the 3/4 court heave from Lamoureux that was right on the money. Harvey returns in place of Hudson. And 0 for 2 at the line that time for Rosquist. Ryder with a kick out to Black. Over now to Carson. And Kalamazoo going to try to go 2 for 1 on possessions. And that'll be Ryder. And that gives them a small, only about a 2-second differential between the shot clock and now a thud from the far side, and that's Ryder on his back after a collision with Harvey and an offensive foul on Stephen Harvey, which will be his 3rd. Player control foul, so no shots. But it does give Kalamazoo the ball back with 26.8 left in the half, trailing 46-39, but they've gotten this thing to single digits and a chance to cut away a little bit more. Wiley, who has 12, will control how to get his team into motion defensively. Sinke and Stevens camp out down low along with Hudson. Small lineup for the Scots, clock down to 10. Wiley under pressure from Lamoureux. Now the screen comes from Ryder with 5. Wiley off to Hood. He's going to try to put it on the floor, and he got it tangled in his jersey, and he traveled. Rapidly wants to substitute, rushing to get Harvey and Mackey. They want the 3-point shooters into the game with 3.2 seconds to go. Inbounds is going to be right in front of the Scots bench. They're going to feed it to Stevens with 3.2. Can he get it to one of the other shooters? It'll be Sinke who triggers. Had it online, but not a lot of time to get that one away. Alma will lead by 9 at the half. We will pause here at the Art Smith Arena on elmascots.com, catch our breath, get some stats, come back, bring you up to speed on everything that went down in that first half, and then have the second 20 minutes between Alma and Kalamazoo. Scots lead the Hornets at the break, 46-37. 46-37, Alma with a 9-point lead on Kalamazoo here at the half. Good battle from Kalamazoo in the late minutes of that first half to keep this thing close. Alma was briefly in danger of getting away, having chased the lead out to double digits, but Kalamazoo gets it back down to singles. And this is a spot that they've been in a few times this year, so Alma should not be getting ahead of themselves with the 9-point halftime edge. Kalamazoo was down big in their season opener against Manchester, got back within 4 late in the first half, then scored the first 9 of the second half to tie that game, or to actually take the lead in the second half. In the end, Manchester pulled away for a 69-55 win. But similar situation against the University of Chicago, down by 9 at halftime, got back within 1 early in the second half. And they were down throughout the first half of their win against Calvin before the second half burst that included the 15 points from Ben Reiter in a 3-minute span. So although Alma in a nice position with the 9-point edge, certainly nothing that they can take for granted. There is women's basketball going on between these two schools this afternoon as well, down in Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo has the lead over Alma in that one, 42-30, midway through the third quarter. In that, of course, Alma got a nice win on Wednesday night against Olivet, 80-63. But the moment down by 12 to the Hornets on the road this afternoon. Take a look at a few of those first half stats. Alma shoots 51% from the floor and 53% from three-point range. Compare that to 44% from Kalamazoo, and Alma getting up 8 more shot attempts. That's been a story all season long for Kalamazoo. But Kalamazoo's had a similar problem in free throw attempts. About 90 more free throws attempted by their opponents this season, but today is the opposite of that one. Kalamazoo gets to the line 15 times in the first half, makes 13. Meanwhile, Alma only 8 trips to the stripe, and they go 4 for 8. So that free throw performance has been crucial in keeping Kalamazoo in this one so far. Individual scoring through the first half, Kalamazoo led by Tanner Bliley, the sophomore, who shoots 5 for 7 from the floor, 12 points for him. Paprocki, 11 points on 7 of 8 free throw shooting, only 2 for 3 from the field, as Alma has fouled him more than they've let him get shots up. 8 from Ben Reiter, 6 from Roger Hood. So only 4 players score for Jay Smith, and we mentioned he doesn't have the depth available right now, even though he's got a lot of players who come through in the roster. They've gone very deep on their bench. A lot of these are freshmen who are just getting worked into the system in Kalamazoo. Alma, on the other hand, gets 7 players scoring in that first half, 11 each from Rob Holmes and Amari Hudson. That's a career high for Hudson. Lamoureux with 9. Kevin Scheibert had 5. Rosquist with 4, and Harvey and Sinke 3 each. Kalamazoo will have the ball to start off second half play, and they will put the starting 5 back out there. Harvey has 3 fouls for Alma, but Holmes returns with the 2. He missed much of the closing minutes of the first half with the 2 whistles, despite scoring 11 quick points. And Paprocki, a nice left-handed take, gets things going and the lead down to 7. Lamoureux for the Scots, now off to Holmes. First offensive possession of the half for Alma. Lamoureux, who is 8th in the MIAA in assists, gets it to Stevens, who is 2nd in the conference. He tries to feed Holmes, but Holmes comes up short. Stevens 10th in the country in total assists coming into today with 109. Went over 200 for his career against Trine back on Wednesday. Here's Reiter. Everybody sags off him defensively, so he'll try the long 2, but comes away with nothing. Harvey opened the scoring in the first half with a 3, doesn't want that opportunity, and Scheibert's pass looking for Lamoureux almost got tipped to Holmes, but does not get there. So, Alma scoreless through the first minute and 15 of the second half. Kalamazoo with 1 bucket to get the lead down to 7. Bliley wants to make it 4, but way long on that one. And Kalamazoo doing some great work with the defensive hands, tipping the ball away multiple times in these early possessions. Alma's going to get this one back. Kalamazoo wins the turnover battle in the first half, 11-8. As we said, that's been a much different situation as they've turned it over an average of 19 times a game coming in. And a foul on Jack Smith there. But if Kalamazoo can take care of the ball, equalize this possession number a little bit, which has been really the biggest mountain that they've tried to climb. Both teams 6 and 12 coming in, and now a steal by Smith, taken back by Holmes and then taken back by Hood. Nobody wants the ball. Now finally Kalamazoo will secure the possession. Smith, though, can't get the layup. The rebound snared by Bliley. Kalamazoo will try it in the half court instead. Back-to-back-to-back turnovers. Hood for three. No good there. And Harvey grabs it. Kalamazoo about a 32% free throw or three-point shooting team. Inside Stevens spins it out. Back comes Bliley. Smith off the dribble. 17 on the shot clock. Alma by 7, 17 and a half minutes to play. Hood drives in and then tries to fire a pass into the corner. A little sloppy here. Shot clock down to 6. Ryder will take an open three. And oh my gracious, that ought to be worth like 1.5. Most of the way down and finds its way back out, defying gravity, and the Scots turn it into 2 at the other end. Get the physics professors to take a look at that last three-point try at the Kalamazoo end. Smith goes through Ryder. Now Bliley will drive, pop, use the window unsuccessfully this time. Kalamazoo had a couple of great baskets off the glass in the first half. This time it was kind of an awkward angle to try to go off the glass, and it did not work. And Alma's going to come away with this one after a foul on Peprocki. Kalamazoo, of course, is the alma mater of Alma assistant coach Ryan Clark. Clark in the record books for three-pointers there, both second overall in a season and third all-time in three-pointers made for the Hornets. Now in his 6th season alongside Sam Hargreaves. Here's Harvey from the corner for Alma. Reminiscent of his assistant coach's days in bombing threes. And Stephen Harvey puts Alma back up by 12. Underneath Ryder, blocked by Scheibert, gets it back. Second try off to the left. Scheibert tries to tap the rebound out, but Rosquist cannot get there. Bushka inside. Pass down to Paparaki, who will head to the stripe, where if you've just joined us, he was terrific in the first half. Only a 53% free throw shooter on the season, but 7 of 8 in the first half. He's got 13 points along with 4 rebounds. Alma by 12, looking to level their record at 4-4 in the MIAA. 3 teams atop the league standings at 5-2. Trine, Olivet, Adrian, then Hope at 4-3. Alma tied with Calvin at 3-4, tied for 5th. Top 4 make the conference tournament at the end of the season. 1 for 2 at the line for the senior. And Alma's advantage is 11. Stevens guarded by Bushka. Goes inside Rosquist. The transfer from Rockford lays it up and in. Kalamazoo keeping it out on the perimeter so far. Now inside lefty hook. Beautiful from Paparaki. Rosquist going to try to do it again. Not successful this time, but he does draw the whistle. And that'll be the 3rd on Paparaki. Rosquist coming off a career high at Alma of 10 against Trine on Wednesday. He averaged 9 a game at Rockford last year. And the pair good this time. After the missed free throws in the first half, he converts both there, give him 8, and Alma out to a 13-point advantage. 15 and a half minutes to play here, Saturday afternoon basketball at the Art Smith Arena as these teams begin their second trip through MIAA conference play. Alma's been home every Saturday in the conference and will be the rest of the way as well. Next Saturday it will be Albion here. Holmes drives, kick out for the Scots. Harvey for three, got it. Stephen Harvey, 3 triples today after 4 on Wednesday. And he's got 9. Three-point try from the corner. No good. Back comes Alma trying to stretch this lead, which is already ballooned to 16. Holmes was feeling it, but that one wouldn't fall. Alma heads to Calvin on Wednesday for a rematch against the Knights after a home loss earlier in the year. Currently leading by 16, a foul called. And if that's Harvey, that's his 4th. So he will head to the bench as Mackey and Hudson return. Scheibert takes a breather as well. Scheibert has cooled off a little bit from his torrid pace today. Only 5 points this afternoon after averaging 18 a game over his last 4, but the other Scots have been there to pick up the slack and then some. Inside to Paparaki, double teamed and fouled. And that's a tight call underneath on Hudson. Second foul on Hudson, 3rd on the Scots of the second half. Bliley airmail right at us, almost took out Skylar Goodman. Now, Skylar, you played basketball back in the day. As long as you look up from the computer screen, that won't scare you too much, but you were in there updating the graphics and nearly lost your head. And now a timeout on the floor with 14:08. I think that might have been just out of courtesy to our crew over here to catch our wits. After it's always the fun of courtside seats. You never know when one might come your way. It's 58-42 Alma, though, after leading by 9 at the half. They've edged this out a little bit to a 16-point advantage midway here through the second half. Alma, if you're just joining us, playing without Doug Bradfield and Kevin Gamble today. Bradfield with an ankle injury last Saturday against Adrian after had played an extremely good game until that point. And then Gamble late in the action against Trine after a double-double, his first of the season, 14 points, 10 boards, hit the floor hard and sustained a concussion, so unable to play today. I talked to him on Thursday. At that point, he was hoping he might be back next week, but that obviously was very early in the recovery process and pending some more information. Both those guys are on the bench today, just in street clothes, but supporting the team. And on the whole, it's been an awfully good afternoon for the Scots. Holmes leads Alma with 13, Hudson 11. Holmes had 26 back on Wednesday, so his great week continues. Paparaki with 16 for Kalamazoo, Bliley 12, but has not scored in the second half. Alma has really clamped down on him as this second half has gone along. Alma's torrid shooting pace continues, 21 of 40 from the floor, 10 of 19 from three-point range. Kalamazoo, after shooting in the 40s in the first half, overall has fallen to just 34%. His buckets have been very hard to come by here in the second stanza. Mackey, Stevens, Rosquist, Hudson, and Scheibert, the 5 for Alma. 2-3 zone from Kalamazoo. Now almost a 1-3-1. Baseline drive, and Rosquist basket waved off on a push on the floor. So no basket. Foul will be called on Jordan Curry, the 6'6 freshman from Ann Arbor Pioneer. As I mentioned, Kalamazoo's got the whole Ann Arbor school system covered. They've got Dan Black out of Skyline, Curry from Pioneer, Jack Smith out of Ann Arbor Huron. So pick your favorite Ann Arbor high school, and somebody's playing for Kalamazoo out of that program. Inside to Rosquist for the Scots with 8 on the shot clock. They'll dish it off. Stevens fouled. And Ryan Stevens will shoot a couple. Stevens fell hard there. Grabs his wrist a little bit, but seems to be okay. Stevens has not scored today, but 7 more assists, 116 on the year. And there's a point to go with them. I believe that makes 4 consecutive games with at least 7 assists for Ryan Stevens as he continues to boost those numbers that had him in the top 10 in the country coming in. 60-42, Alma's 18-point advantage is their biggest of the day. And inside Heyman, who just checked in for the Hornets, cannot get the hook shot. Scheibert, with Stevens calling for it, couldn't get it ahead of the defense. Now Rosquist, a quick burst, but can't spin it in. Misfires at both ends. Ryder, a nice fake, drives. Way too strong, though, on the try. And here we go again, 2-on-2. Stevens pass over to Scheibert, gets all the way and lays it up. And another whistle. All right, hold on. And a foul, I believe, after the basket. Explanation going to Sam Hargraves. Still trying to interpret that signal as they've not posted a foul on the board. It's going to be Kalamazoo basketball. I was looking down, updating my score sheet, so I honestly did not see what happened, but Alma does lead by 20. The basket is good. And that one will have to be chalked up as a mystery of the universe. Thomas Cook from Grand Blanc fouled, held on his first action checking in. Foul on Rosquist, or sorry, on Lamoureux, pardon me. Cook is a hybrid forward with some three-point range out of high school in Grand Blanc. And there's Bliley, his first second half basket is a nice one. Alma had kept him off the scoreboard for 7.5 minutes, but now a chance for a three-point play after the 5th foul against Alma of the half. That one is on Rosquist. And it'll summon Holmes back into the game. Bliley to the line. Career high is 17. And he's still got a legitimate chance at that, as that's point number 15 on the free throw. 3 different times he's hit that 17-point number. We'll swing it around with 12:25 to go. Scheibert wants a long-range connection. Kevin Scheibert, all you had to do was mention that he was a little slower in the scoring department today, and he runs off 5 quick ones to give him 10 on the afternoon. Alma back up by 20. Inside Cook drops it off to Heyman and just keeps his pivot foot and lays it in. Nice basket there by Merritt Heyman out of Montague. Cross court, what a job by Smith to reach up, just looking the other direction and knock that out of the air with his wrist. Sets up Bliley for a high arcer to tie his career high. Timeout Kalamazoo. And try to grasp on these couple of baskets and get things going with 11:45 to play, 65-49. So back within 16. But on the whole, Scott's just a little too much offense as things go on. Rebound numbers remain fairly close today, 26-23 Alma's advantage there. Turnovers, Alma very clean, has not turned the ball over in the second half, which is quite impressive as we're about 8 minutes into that half. 12 total turnovers for Kalamazoo after having 8 at halftime, but a big edge in assists, 17-5 in Alma's favor. Alma already right around its season average assist-wise, which is just over 17. Once again, the Scots doing a great job of distributing the ball. They lead the league in that stat, as well as blocked shots and three-pointers attempted and made. Scott Mackey out of Holly, who's come up into big varsity action this year. Kicks it around, now Holmes through the baseline over to Scheibert for a 3. That won't fall, and Curry grabs the rebound. Perimeter action, Bliley drives in. Nice job with the body control to go around Scheibert, and there is an outright career high for Tanner Bliley midway through his sophomore season. 19 points this afternoon. Kalamazoo back within 14. Alma saw a big lead get away against Adrian last week before they turned on the Jets in the final minutes to secure that victory, knock off the then league leaders. Hudson going to go to the line here with 10:51 to play in the half after a foul on Heyman. Second try from Hudson, no good. So a pair of misses for Amari, but Alma still up by 14, 10:45 left in this one. Inside Bliley, now into the corner. Smith, three-point try, long rebound. Heyman, a great job to tap that out right to Bliley. Now inside Cook, turnaround jumper from the foul line. Phil thought he was going to get that on the bounce through, but it would not go. Hudson goes all the way and then blocked by Cook. Or actually, I think that was Curry in there who had that, one of the big men. Bliley trying to seize control. Might have gotten fouled down underneath on the kick out to Curry. We're going to bring back Harvey with 4 fouls and still 10 minutes left in the game. Cook has that range if he wants that shot. Second try from that distance to just spin away. Now Alma, you see Scheibert when he seizes that opening. He is going all the way to the basket, and he gets there, give him 12. What a 5-game stretch for Kevin Scheibert. A double-double, the first of his career last week there. Cook traveled with it. 18 and 12 in that one. 20 points, 9 rebounds against Hope a week and a half ago. Another 18-point game against Trine on Wednesday, and then 12 so far today. Scheibert will head to the bench. Oh, actually he won't. He'll just head over and get a high five. It is Hudson who is checked out. A little hard to tell. A big conglomerate of white jerseys over in the corner. Some of them are on the floor and others are on the bench. But it is Harvey, Scheibert, Stevens, Holmes, and Lamoureux for Sam Hargraves. Oh, Stevens, too hard. Right through the hands of Holmes, who didn't see it coming. And Alma turns it over. So there's the first second half turnover for the Scots. Up 67-51 with 9:15 to play. Kalamazoo again going deep on its bench here as they did in the first half. Garnering experience for a lot of players, and here's one of them, as that's Charlie Carson, a senior from Rochester, who comes up short on the three-point try. Cook, Heyman, Carson out there, along with Jack Smith and Jordan Curry. Those are the 5 for Jay Smith and Kalamazoo, who trail by 16. Alma gets it to Holmes along the baseline. He'll work off the dribble, kick out Scheibert wide open for 3. He loves that shot. And Scheibert with 15, 10 in the second half. Holmes had already lifted himself into the top 5 in the MIAA standings in three-point percentage. Scheibert doing his own numbers some favors here in this second half. Inside Cook, strong move. Still can't get one to fall. The rebound tip almost went in. And look at Holmes scramble for it. Ball out of bounds almost into the megaphone. This will be Kalamazoo ball. Scheibert 34% from 3 coming into today, but has been good in the second half. Actually good in the whole game. 3 for 4 from outside. Kalamazoo's possession continues. They bring Paparaki back in. This is Jack Smith inside looking for Paparaki, and off a shoe, and off an Alma shoe apparently. Possession will stay here. Curry a little fake, gets him around Lamoureux, but then he's going to go over to the other side to Smith, and Kalamazoo cannot buy a basket. number of shots that have just been strange feats of gravity to knock the ball out. And now a foul on the putback. That'll be Stevens. Called for his second. That's going to get Curry to the line. Two-shot situation. First one no good. Scouting report on Jordan Curry from Jay Smith when the recruiting list came out is that he's more dangerous the further he is from the basket. Now, when I was a basketball player, that was true because it meant I couldn't shoot. But what they mean for him is that he has tremendous. He was the career blocks leader at Ann Arbor Pioneer in high school, averaged 12.7 boards as a senior. He splits that pair there, so he's into the scoring book with his first point of the evening, 70-52. Tries to get it down low, and there's Curry with a steal. Bring it up himself. You can see right there the range that Jay Smith is talking about, both inside and out. Not often that you'd see a career shot block leader that sets up on the perimeter, but Alma has their own in Doug Bradfield, who leads the conference in blocks, but is out today with the ankle injury. This ball turned over to Alma, though. Trouble with that feed into the corner. Scots by 18 with 7:20 left in the second half. Stevens through traffic like it's a slalom course all the way to the end, but cannot finish. Outlet Ryder for Kalamazoo, and good job by Lamoureux. The hard foul denies the basket. Oh, Ryder took some umbrage at that one. It looked pretty, it's a hard foul, but it looked like Lamoureux had a pretty good piece of the ball. Jay Smith wants to pull his team off, make sure that everybody keeps their wits about them. They called this as a flagrant foul. I think maybe they have. Interesting. Not what I saw there, but to keep everybody apart. And sometimes that's a situation when a game is not particularly close, that the officials just want to take control and make sure that nobody's emotions get the best of them. 18-point lead with 7:11 to play. And so Ryder will head to the line. It does appear that it's a flagrant foul on Luke Lamoureux. So a little surprising to me there, but it was a hard foul. No question about that. I just thought that Lamoureux had enough of the ball, and I don't know whether there was contact up high perhaps, which that can lead to that call. This is obviously different than Division I basketball, where there would be a review looking at video footage and so forth. Foul is the second on Lamoureux. Ryder will head to the line. And his first try is good. It's the first point of the second half for Ben Ryder. Just has been really the primary victim of the close shots that have not gone in for Kalamazoo, as their team shooting percentage has plummeted in the second half. But Ryder getting it done at the line makes both. So those are the free throws for what I believe is considered a flagrant foul. College basketball doesn't use the term intentional foul anymore. And now Ryder will shoot the actual fouls, and I don't know if potentially there was a second call there. But regardless, it's a number of free throws for Ben Ryder, and he's got 3 of them in a row so far, looking for a fourth. And that's good also. So just like that, 18-point lead turns into 14 as Ryder goes 4 of 4. Alma does get possession after this. Still 7 minutes to go. We'll see if that can spur a little rally from the Hornets. Alma led by 9 at halftime, and now Holmes fouled on the floor. Reach in, but this is going to be a 1-and-1. As it is the 7th Kalamazoo team foul of the half. First trip to the line for Holmes today. Short. And Kalamazoo's going to have a chance to cut this down, which would certainly get Alma's attention. A 2 or a 3 here, I think, might prompt a timeout from the Alma bench. just to make sure things didn't get out of hand. Bliley, a connection. 21 now for Tanner Bliley, leading all scorers. Kalamazoo has it down to 12 at 70-58. Scots will play catch out on the perimeter, drain a little clock, shot clock at 12. Deep lob to Holmes, who had to get it out of his fingers for fear that his heel would land on the sideline. Lamoureux threw a nice screen from Scheibert. Over to Rosquist, wants a high arcing three, and he's got it. Rosquist with the moon rocket. And Alma back to a 14-point edge. Must have been a 2. Must have had a toe on the line. So make it 10 for Rosquist. Back-to-back games now with 10. And Sam Hargraves hollering from the bench to Luke Lamoureux to back it way out. Try to burn some of this shot clock. Bliley not going to make that easy and just strips it away. Look at the big man Paparaki run the floor. He will hold it up for Ryder. Unable to find anybody open down under the basket. Bliley wants a screen. Up over the top to Ryder. Underneath now Paparaki against Holmes. And nothing that Rob Holmes can do against 6'9" Jimmy Paparaki. He's got 18 to go with the 21 of Bliley. And there's the timeout, full timeout from Alma, with Kalamazoo again within 12. Still over 5 minutes to play in this one, 5:07. So Alma's going to put the brakes on here and make sure that that 4 free throw string from Ryder doesn't become a turning point that spurs on a big Kalamazoo comeback. Excellent fight from Jay Smith's team. Smith, of course, an extremely experienced head coach, was an assistant at the University of Michigan back both for the 1989 National Championship team as well as the Fab Five era. Head coaching stints both at Grand Valley and a lengthy time at Central Michigan. Took CMU to the NCAA tournament behind Chris Kaman. Most recently was an assistant at Detroit Mercy before coming to Kalamazoo last year. So this is his second full season and first year with his own recruits. And you immediately see the dividends paid as he brings in 11 new players. There were 6 seniors that graduated, including 3 MIAA academic honor roll players. So Kalamazoo has done nicely to hit the ground running. They lost their first 4 of the season, but then won 5 out of 7. They've struggled a little bit in conference play. They've got the 1 signature win against Calvin, but you look at this Hornets program and you figure that another year or 2 and Jay Smith is going to really have them ready to go. Some of these players who have come off the bench today and played key minutes, especially as part of this rally in the second half, they are the future of the Hornets program. Still has 20 on the shot clock after the timeout. They lead by 12. Just looking to get this one into the house, and there's a good start. Rosquist the assist, Scheibert the finish. Scheibert takes his second finger in the face of the day. See him blinking there, but he's got 17 points. Bliley, who already has 21, thought about it. Drew Smith now inside, Paparaki back outside. How about Ryder for 3? Still in and out again. He's going to be out here with a tape measure to measure the size of that rim, the way that it has treated him in this second half. Good shot after good shot that just has not fallen. Holmes at the elbow. See how quickly Alma wants to take a shot here. Little B. Stevens with a 3, and that one is a 3. Toe was very close to the line, but not quite. Stevens' first field goal is a big one. And now a whistle away from the basketball. Stops the clock with 4:05, but Alma's 12-point lead back to 17 in a minute and 2 seconds after the timeout. And the whistle is actually for blood. Evan Scheibert mentioned he got poked there, and apparently this one drew a little bit of the red stuff, but Brett Knight right there with the rubber gloves and the bandages. They're going to try to treat this quickly enough to keep Scheibert in the game, but Sam Hargraves says, no, head to the locker room, clean it up, make sure you're good, or at least down to the end of the bench. Amari Hudson will come in. It will be a locker room trip for Scheibert. They'll get him bandaged up. Does not appear to be anything serious. Alma by 17 as we cross under 4 minutes to play. And there's another whistle on a bear hug underneath on Holmes, and that'll get Paparaki to the line. Kalamazoo rallied in a similar fashion, drawing a couple of fouls away from the ball while in the bonus in the first half. That's how they got the lead down to 9 at halftime. It had been double digits for a while. Paparaki, his 19th point of the day. Season high is 23 against Bluffton. So a lot of folks either putting numbers in the record books or getting close to doing so. We already had the career high from Hudson in the first half for Alma. Bliley set one in the second half for Kalamazoo. And Paparaki now with a 20-point day himself. Stevens inside, a little drop step, finds nothing when he spins, so he'll just fire a deep pass out to Rosquist. No look, rifle back into the corner to Stevens. Shot clock to 9, which is just what the Scots want to do. Game clock to 3:30. Hudson going to try to get in. Jump stop, no good off the glass. Found some room to get that shot around Paparaki. Could not get it to fall. Ryder to Curry. Jay Smith saw something there that Curry didn't. A pass that was available that he passed up, and then a couple of big steps in a travel. Yeah, I thought so from Jack Smith, trying to figure out how he's going to avoid having that pass knocked away by Hudson. Hudson still got a piece of it after the fact anyway. But the ball given back to the Scots. 15th turnover of the day for Kalamazoo. Alma forced 23 Hornet turnovers the first time these teams met. 77-62, just under 3 minutes to play. Alma looking for their second Saturday win in a row. Beat then league leading Adrian last Saturday night. Down low to Holmes, drop step, short off the glass. And back comes Ryder with it. Smith to the baseline, kick out Ryder for 3. Just not his half. And a very leisurely pace up the floor now for Ryan Stevens. 2:13 to play. Harvey a trigger maybe a little earlier in the shot clock than the Scots wanted, but it's hard to pass up a wide open 3 when you shoot the way Stephen Harvey does. Wiley inside to Paparaki into the corner and lost off the fingertips of Curry, but that was all because of the thunderous appearance of Rosquist. Curry took his eyes off it for just a second, knowing that number 0 was headed his way. Brennan Bushka checks in for the Hornets for these final 2 minutes. Looking like Alma will level its record at 4-4 in the MIAA. Try to keep its eyes squarely on that top 4 spot, get to the MIAA tournament, and from there, you're 2 wins away from the NCAA tournament. Stevens for Alma. Into the corner, Rosquist pumps and then says, all right, if it's open, I'll take it. And there's the Alma career high for Rosquist with 13 now. 80-62. Wiley spinning, hands to Paprocki. And he'll toss up the little baby hook and a timeout. Jimmy Paprocki, excellent game with 22 points. That strong 7 of 8 performance at the foul line in the first half. Take a look elsewhere in MIAA basketball today. Hope and Trine in a great one. Hope with a 4-point lead at Trine, 71-67 with 3:25 to play in the second half. Albion had a substantial 47-35 lead against Olivet. That would be a mild upset if the Comets do not come back in the second half. Calvin has defeated Adrian 94-72, so that jumbles the standings a little bit as well. Calvin was tied for Alma, or with Alma, at 3 and 4, tied for 5th. So they will move up. Adrian, previously 5 and 2, slides back to 5 and 3. So the logjam is not in any way, shape, or form being relieved in the MIAA standings. Women's basketball, Trine leads Hope 52-43. Kalamazoo has defeated Alma 67-55 in women's hoops. Calvin a big lead against Adrian 77-46 with 44 seconds remaining in that one. Albion has a non-conference women's basketball game today against Great Lakes Christian, and then St. Mary's at Olivet coming up later. 80-64, Alma leads Kalamazoo here in the final 2 minutes from the Art Smith Arena. Alma heads to Calvin on Wednesday, and then back here at 3 o'clock next Saturday afternoon against Albion, against that Albion team who was taking a 12-point lead into the half against Olivet. Harvey over to Stevens, and will go under a minute to play. Alma still has 18 seconds to drain off the shot clock if they'd like. With a 16-point lead, don't expect Kalamazoo to foul here. Should just play out with fairly normal basketball. Rosquist, 3-point try. Can he add to the tally? No. And the rebound loose, and Hood will get there. But Harvey, the sneaky trailer, pops it forward. Alma into the front court. They cannot completely run this out. 2.5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And Hood's going to come up and apply a little defensive pressure, so Alma will not be able to just totally dribble it out. Now he backs off a little bit, so Rosquist will go by and then kick it back over. Harvey for 3, and good. Stephen Harvey back-to-back double-digit performances, 12 points on 4 3-pointers. 2 seconds left in the game. Bliley, and add to that career high for Tanner Bliley, make it 24 instead of 21. And your final score, 83-67. 16 points will be the margin as the teams match threes at the end. This is a game ultimately that both teams, I think, will take some substantial positives from. Obviously, Kalamazoo won't be happy about a 16-point loss, but they got great games out of both Paparaki and Bliley, obviously, with the career high. Alma played very solid basketball, was able to get a lot of players into the action. They get an Alma career high out of Rosquist. Scheibert has 17 for another great day. Hudson a career high with 11 all in the first half. Holmes solid as usual with 13. Harvey continues to keep the three-point shooting going. It had cooled off there. He had a stretch of games where he didn't score. Really has heated that up. 4 threes on Wednesday, another 4 this afternoon for him. Stevens had 5 and great assist numbers. Again, that was 7 the last I checked, and by the time you look now, 10 assists for Ryan Stevens, so into double figures there. It's not a double-double as he only had 5 points, but that's now 119 assists on the season for Ryan Stevens. Zach Sinke came off the bench in the first half. He hit a 3, and Luke Lamoureux had 9 points as well. I think that's everybody on the Alma end. Over for Kalamazoo, 24 points for Tanner Bliley and 22 for Jimmy Paparaki, including 10 of 12 from the line. Great days for them. Ben Ryder had 12, 6 for Roger Hood, 2 for Merritt Heyman, and 1 at the line for Jordan Curry. Team stats, Alma shoots 52% from the floor, 55.5% from 3, 15 of 27 from 3. I believe Alma's high number of three-pointers on the season is 16, so 15 of those today. Kalamazoo goes 21 of 57 from the floor, 3 of 18 though from three-point range. Just really struggled from the outside after the halftime whistle. 22 of 26 at the line. Jay Smith will be very pleased with that. His team shooting only 63% from the stripe on the season, but connecting at nearly an 85% clip on the day today. So Alma with the win, they move to 4-4 in the league standings, and what that's going to mean, who knows? With the game still in play, there's a lot of jumbling that could happen. The only thing that we know is that Adrian has lost, so they fall back, and other than that, a lot of stuff still in jeopardy. Alma will have the matchups against Calvin and Albion this week, so Stay tuned for those on the road at Calvin on Wednesday, then right back here at Art Smith Arena next Saturday afternoon. If you can't be here in person, join us right here via almascots.com, your source for all kinds of information on Alma Scots athletics, be it the basketball program or any of the other Scots sports. For everybody helping out here today, including Skylar Goodman, who almost got her head taken off by a stray basketball over here at the scorer's table, thank you for tuning in this afternoon. Scots get the victory over Kalamazoo. We will see you in a week. Final today, 83-67.